there from California.
We're up back on the Morning Brew, and I got the super advanced. This is great. This
Oh,
is
yeah,
it's
got typos.
It's full of typos, but but it's awesome, and this is great.
My gosh.
These guys, this is Stacy and Ron, and you guys are the co-curators for the TEDx Salon, which is this Thursday, and we very familiar name to people who have been watching the show all day. It's a guy named Greg Frost.
Yeah, who is
gonna,
that?
Right? It's Greg Frost Jr. though is going to be one of the speakers, and he's a cool guy. He's got a bunch of businesses, and Katie Snap, Tamara Thorpe, and Charles White are all going to be there, which is very cool. And this is it's a salon, but it's all about entrepreneurship, right?
That's correct.
And Ron, you've been doing this entrepreneurship thing for a while.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a little bit. You've got how many companies and how many soccer teams?
I own 2 companies. Yeah.
2 companies.
Yeah.
Is that including the soccer team?
Yes.
Okay. Because Ron is the owner of the Albuquerque Soul, which is one of my favorite. Well, my only favorite local soccer team, I guess, right? Because you guys are the only professional soccer team in the state.
Yeah, semi-professional right now. We'll be professional by 2018.
You got the plan.
Yeah,
right?
we do.
So you know, so is that when you think about those kinds of business plans and things? Was that when you guys were putting this together? Were you looking for people who had that kind of a plan, or were you just looking for people with the big ideas? Or what were you looking
the
for?
spirit of the event is to have real people that have done it, not just people that are talking about theories. This is how you would do it.
Right.
So all of our speakers have done it. They've been there, done it, executed it, put it in. They've maybe failed once or twice, but they've learned from it.
Right.
And they're out there doing it.
That's very cool.
And, you know, this will be a great event to connect to the TED community, just as all the TED Talks. But quite honestly, everybody in that room, pretty much in this case, is going to be entrepreneurs. So if you're coming, and you want to start a business at some point, or you want to be an entrepreneur in your own business or in your employer, with your employer, this is a great opportunity to meet everybody that's on fire, moving forward.
There is something right now too. I mean,
It's
I think
very energizing.
I think you know there is a movement, there is a motion, there is something going on right now in the city that's bigger than just saying we're starting some businesses, right?
That's right. Yeah, huge trend, I think. And it goes back to, we did a TED like this a year ago. That year, we talked a lot about how do you start a business, but more for people that were service organizations. This time, as Ron was saying, we brought in real entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs, to tell their story and to help share their ideas and tips on how you might start your own company. So
that's very cool. Well, and this is just fun. The TEDx and the TED idea and how you speak is, and sharing your personal stories is a unique way of telling. Basically sharing your ideas and teaching people, right?
Yeah,
right.
We've heard the speeches already, and the stories that these speakers have are just monumental. They're talking about how they got past that, or it's not always a straight line. And then our 5th speaker that was on the other side of the program, Michael Cato, he's actually coming in from California. He's a mentor of mine from years ago.
Oh,
he's actually a competitor of mine. And my company's in all over the country now, and he's one of our competitors. But he's a great friend.
Well, you can learn from a competitor.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. And he's
steal all of their secrets and use them here.
Exactly. He's the former chairman of EO, global chairman. So EO is the Entrepreneurs Organization. It's a worldwide personal development organization for entrepreneurs, and he goes around the world and puts on conferences. And he's coming to Albuquerque.
So, Ron, what is it? Where did you make that leap, and how did you get to that point where you're like, I can do this, I can start a company, I can make a thing happen?
Yeah, I got tired of corporate America. My company had grown.
What was your corporate America thing before then?
So I was in the wireless world.
Okay.
So I was working for a wireless company that grew from 20 stores to 400 stores in 4 years.
Wow. And
I kind of worked my way up the ladder. And then it just got to the point where politics were too much, and I'd always had the entrepreneurial bug. I'd tried a couple things, which I've written about, and then just decided, you know what, it's time to take the leap of faith, and paid myself $100 a week for the first year, and rented my house out to 2 people, and I lived there too, and just did it.
Just made it happen?
Yep.
Right. But what was it, internally, how did you get to that point where you were able to say, I can do this? Because I know there are a lot of people
I'm crazy.
There, right? But there's a lot of people out there when I talk to people, they're like, I got ideas for a business, I got ideas to do something else. And there's always like this mental barrier, there's always a barrier of some kind.
Yeah, I think the old saying is it doesn't have to be perfect, just get out and do it.
Right.
And if you sit around and try to make it perfect and wait for the perfect plan and this, that, the other, you're never going to get anything done. You're just going to spin your wheels.
Right. Well, you teach this stuff, Stacey.
Yeah,
is that one of the barriers people have when you're sitting there at UNM and you got a class full of kids? Are they scared about this? Like, I went to college so I could get a job, and you're telling them don't get a job.
In fact, I was going to say UNM Small Business Plan Competition and UNM Small Business Institute and Anderson School of Management, we're sponsoring this event.
Right.
And so I'm bringing a handful of students, and I think if I had to really look at their story, they're gun-ho. They've got a cool idea, and they're ready to go. I think they need tools more than the other. They're energized to start something, ready, fire, aim.
Right.
So we're trying to get them to do more aiming, I think, in terms of where can you get funding, and then certainly right now with all the things going on in this community with ABQID, with what Gary's doing at the city, and on. We've got a huge resource
Even
here.
the Living Cities guys who were here a second ago.
The folks who were here this morning. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But they're and how does this TEDx thing then tap into that energy? How do you find that, and how do you share that?
I think, in a way, it's partly who the speakers are that we brought in, or bringing in.
Yeah, good speakers, good content, real world stuff.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know Stacy's an entrepreneur too. He may be a lecturer at UNM, but he started businesses and he's the real deal too. He's not just the person that talks about it. I mean, he's done it.
Right. Stacy has been out there. You've been in the scene for a long time, and you're actually a good one because you've seen Albuquerque 15 years ago. We were a struggling. You're from here too,
right?
And you've seen Albuquerque as a struggling city for a long time, and there's never, ever been in the business world this push, this excitement, right?
Not at this level, I don't think. Certainly there's lots of organizations that have been there, sort of a foundation to help foster economic development through entrepreneurs. But now with Innovate Albuquerque and I think some of those areas really taking off, you've talked about this many times, we need to get off of what has been always our base, which is
the government
jobs. Yeah, and most of our employers are government. So this is going on around the whole country, but we're bringing it here too.
Right.
And I'm very excited that we can bring 5 entrepreneurs to the stage for people here locally. It's Thursday night. Hope you can come down to TEDxABQ.com.
Well, the most important thing is I'll get to wear the little Madonna mic, which is my favorite thing about the TEDx thing. I love that. That's just the
little
coolest,
makeup,
right? I love that.
Yeah, I'm going to need a little more.
We'll be back in a couple of seconds on the Morning Brew with Friends.